गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are calling this as retreat. In other places we have called this thing as spiritual workout with Swamiji. So here, what do we mean by retreat? Retreat means real treat. What we have is only the virtual treat, not the real one. The virtual treat is dependent on many dependent variables. And because of that, we imagine that we really get something, but the next moment it is lost. So in this retreat, we will try to discover the real treat that we are. And for that, we'll have to work upon ourselves. While coming and going in the car with Arvind, we had many topics discussed. How the world is bad and we are good was a common theme. So, whenever there is a problem with somebody or for somebody, we have all the wisdom available with us as philosophical advice to others. Isn't it? Now, how come we all have very good advice for others? But when the same problem comes in our life, we are totally nonplussed. What is the reason? The reason is we are able to stand apart and outside the situation. When you are able to stand apart and outside the situation, you are able to evaluate, assess, and suggest the right way to get out of the situation. See how simple it is. Now, if we can develop a technique by which we are able to stand outside our own situation and then again look at it, you will see that we are the source of all the wisdom. We are the source of all the advice to ourselves. But when we are unable to do that, even small little thing becomes a big problem. Take for example, now you are all sitting in front of me. So, when I keep this finger just nearer to my eye, all of you are covered. Now my finger is not that big to cover the surface area of all of you together. It's so small. But this small finger is able to cover that you are all gone from my vision. When I keep the finger very close to my eyes. But when the same finger is kept away, then you are already there. So when I keep the finger very close to my eyes and I say, hey, you are all covered by my finger. No, you are not covered. My vision is covered. In the same manner, when we look at the world, it is our vision which is covered, which is having a very difficult way to look at the world. And therefore, we have to first recognize this thing in our life, that we are able to stand apart from whatever we are doing or not doing. First thing. And once we understand this is the first step, get involved in this world fully, enjoy, I am not of the opinion that the world is useless and withdraw and brood and become depressed. No. Life is a celebration. Instead of a celebration, we start calibration. Every time keeping the account. And as a result, we miss the whole fun of life. And therefore, once we have decided that our life is not a calibration but it is a celebration, then what is celebration? In celebration, we don't give much importance to small things. Isn't it? When we give importance to small stuff, like when we sweat over the small stuff, we miss the whole life. So when we are living in this world, we all have to be consciously putting these efforts. Let us not sweat over the small things. Things happen. See, I'll tell you one example. Yesterday we were in Philadelphia, yesterday evening, and we went to some place, there was a talk. And I didn't notice. Arvind and the other person who was recording, he noticed. I was sitting and people were sitting on the floor beside Lord, and I was talking on some topic. And then there were two flies. And they were constantly around me, but I had never noticed even one of them. Now, when you are busy with big things, small things don't matter. And those who are busy in small little things, they miss the big thing in life. Therefore, it is so necessary that when we are leading life, we have to correct our interactions with two things. One is the things around us, and second thing, the being around us. First of all, the things. Who doesn't like nice, clean, beautiful place? Everybody likes. There is no doubt about it. It should be like that. But if it is not, that doesn't mean that is the issue of life. And for that, one principle I have discovered. The principle is we should be perfect. But we should not be perfectionist. A perfect person and a perfectionist, what is the difference? A perfect person is perfect as regards his life is concerned. A perfectionist is the one who expects perfection from others. This never happens. And when we don't get the perfection from others, we suffer perfectly. See? Such people have to learn this principle. Let us not expect any kind of perfection from others. This world has been always like this. There is nothing new. And once you accept this principle, you have corrected your relations with the world. Like here you are all sitting. Now I can start and enjoy, or else I can react and destroy. Now the first option I have taken, start and enjoy. The second option, I can start making myself and everybody miserable. Why can't you sit in a proper manner? There should be ladies this side, gents this side. And you should remove the shoes outside. See, there are many things I can point out and make you and me both miserable together. But the question is, it doesn't matter whether you have shoes on or not. What matters is whether you have head on your shoulder or not. So, when our attention is on something higher, small things do not matter. One. Now, second thing, our relations with the people around. Relations with the people around are determined by many factors. We'll take one or two. when we recognize somebody in relation to us, we have different standards. And when we recognize somebody not in relation to us, we have different standards. See? Suppose somebody, some child or a boy or a girl, is smoking and drinking and all kinds of things. And we watch or we see that. What do we say? I don't know what is going to happen to this world anyway. What can I do? And we go ahead. But if it is my son and my daughter, then all the problems come up. Because we relate ourselves with the people in different standards. Now multiply this example. When men are going to the clubs, coming late, or doing this or that, we have a general comment. But if that man is my hubby, then the whole world falls on me. So, this is another principle. Let us recognize that these relational problems have only one limitation, that we expect too much from the people around us. About this, I'll give you one example. This happened in Bangalore. I got out of the flight and was waiting for my luggage. And when I was waiting for my luggage, one person came, a young man, maybe in his early 30s or so, and must be an IT personnel. So he said, Swamiji, how come you are here? I said, the same way as you are here. But there is no other way why I am here. He said, you know what? Yes, this is what I like in you, because I am your fan. I observe you on the TV all the time. But I always feel pity on you. I said, yes, I also feel pity on me when I see people like you around. Please come this side, there is a place. Instead of piling over each other, there is one seat here. You can sit here, you can sit there, you can go there. I think there is some food also in front of you, can start.
I had it already.
Okay. So, I was talking to him that look here, why you feel pity on me? He said, I feel pity on you for one reason, that you have been talking on Gita and so many things for so many years, but the people are not changing. Don't you feel disgusted? You go and talk to the audience again and again, again and again, and they are the same rut. Don't you feel disgusted? I said, you tell me, which doctor will feel miserable if the patient doesn't get cured? On the contrary, the doctors never cure the patient. They maintain the patient. If the patient is cured, the doctor becomes the patient. In the same manner, I don't want any one of you to change or improve. If you all will become wise, my market is gone. Isn't it? Therefore, there is nothing that you have to feel bad about. And second most important thing, when I talk Gita or anything to all of you, who is the first person who hears this? Who is the first one who hears this? I myself, isn't it? If my words do not change me, will they change others? Think. Most of us are wise when the problem is with others. And most of us are otherwise when the problem is with us. Is it not? Because what we say, what we talk, We are ourselves not hearing. And if we really hear, if we really understand the principle, we are bound to change in our life. And therefore, this is the relational problem we all have to solve. That in this world, we are here to improve upon ourselves, not others. But what happens? All of us want others to change. In this field, even God has failed. Isn't it? God is everywhere. Could that God help? If that God could help, this world would never have been like this. I'll give you one or two examples. Examples from the traditional stories and the latest one. First, traditional stories. You all must have read or heard sometime during your childhood that there was a child called as Dhruva, and he was, treated with disrespect and not a good feeling by his stepmother, and the father also pushed him away from his lap. And then the mother says, the stepmother says, if you want to go and sit in the lap of your dad, you have to be born through me, not through your mother. And then he cries and goes to his real mother. And the mother says, yes, what she said is right. Then for that, then you have to worship the Lord. Ask him. And that small child of 5 years is committed. And after that commitment, he goes and starts worshipping the Lord in the forest all by himself, standing on one leg. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And in 6 months' time, he has a full vision of the Lord. He gets the kingdom of this world, and Dhruva means the North Pole is called a Dhruva. He gets that kingdom. Now, when he starts ruling the country, when he has become grown-up man, one day it so happened that his stepbrother is killed by some tribals. He becomes angry. And he wants to annihilate the total tribe. And when this happens, God he has seen. Therefore he got the kingdom. What is the use of seeing that God when he can't improve upon himself? And that time a saint comes in his life, and the saint says, hey man, what are you doing? You claim that you have seen God. After seeing God, you still behave like any ordinary person. And then he comes to realize, oh God, really I was going the wrong way. Then he asked that saint, Manu Maharaj, please advise me how I should live. In the same manner, we may have seen God, we may struggle to see God, but that is not the end of life. Please remember, our life should be such that it is an experience of bliss all in and through every experience. Then we are meaning something meaningful existence. Therefore, we have to change. Although Dhruva had the vision of God, he was having the same anger, frustration, jealousy, and all the accompaniments. Now the second example. In this world we come across many people. They are conducting satsang, they are going to satsang, they will be present in every satsang like the pillars in the temple. And yet there is no change. The same thing continues. What is the use of our attending satsang wherein we are not able to register a positive change in our life? See, Similarly, in Upanishad this mantra comes. नायमात्मा प्रवचनेन लभ्यः न मेधया न बहुना श्रुतेन यमई वेश वृणुते तेन लभ्यः तस्यैष आत्मा विवृणुते तनुं स्वाम. By only listening to the lectures, by remembering the text by heart, or by giving the lectures, three things are said. The truth is never recognized. Then under what condition? Yamai vesha vranute. He who wants nothing but the truth. And what is the truth? The truth is all bliss. No blister. Bliss without blister is retreat. We have to discover that. And for that, what is most important, like the other day, I was talking in our Satsang. Satsang is a portal or a server who is providing you free softwares. You download. But you have to install before you start using them. What we do? We go to the satsang, we download all the softwares, but they are never installed. And as a result, uninstalled softwares only occupy the hard disk space and you become useless. In the same manner, go on reading and studying and collecting lot of information, but not installing it in our life. We become erudite and scholars, but not wise. See, friends, therefore, here in this retreat, we will try to do the following things. 1. We don't want to achieve anything in this world. See, this is the highest achievement. There was a school class and the teacher asked, come on students, those who want happiness, please raise your hands, I shall tell you the technique. So all the students, small of them, raise their hands. Sir, we want. And there was one child sitting in the front like this. What about you? He is not even ready to talk. You don't want happiness? Why? I am happy. See? Why are we struggling so much? For what? Please understand this. Let us not try to prove anything to anybody in the whole world. Very important. All of us are struggling. I'll tell you, one day it so happened in India, one Amma sent me an email. Swamiji, you talk to everybody with great love, you hug them, you ask them, you hold their hand, but to me, you have never even touched. Am I that bad? What is wrong with me? I think, there is something wrong with me, therefore you are avoiding me. When I read that, I said, Amma, if you want, I can come to your house for food. Please indicate. Not through emotional blackmail. So, email is nothing but emotional blackmail. Not through emotional blackmail, but directly word to word. So she said, Swamiji, please come for food. I went. And after taking food, I said, Amma, sit with me. I took her hand in my hand. And I said, Amma, I love you. You are the dearest one. I said, tell me now, do I have to prove to you that I love you? Is it the American way of loving the mother? Mother's Day. Once in a year, with one flower, delivered by the florist. And I celebrate Mother's Day. See, friends, let us understand one. We don't have to prove anything to anybody. If you are sincere to your conscience, your life will become very simple. And the moment you stop proving anything to anybody, you will stop struggling in your life. Now what we do? We struggle. What is the struggle? Struggle is, I have to prove to Arun that I really love him, respect him. Then I had to prove to him that I really... And my whole life goes only proving. And finally, I am proved to be a fool of the highest order. See, this is one thing why we are not able to discover the bliss. Second thing, we want to get the attention of the people by showing great concern. See, let us not have that hypocritic lifestyle. Yes, we have love, we have understanding, but let us not be so concerned about others that the others suffer and suffocate because of our concern. It happens many times. Like, where it happened somewhere, I was given by one Amma from London. She said, Swamiji, I don't know what to give you. And so I was thinking for last 1 month, 2 months, I had to give you something which you will use. Otherwise, if I give something, if it is you pass on to somebody. Because you have also given me something from somebody. So I wanted you to have something which you will use. So 2 months I was thinking. And finally, I have decided I should give you some vitamin tablets which you will eat. So she has given me those vitamin tablets, and they were in my bag for almost 2 months. And then thereafter, again sometime a phone came. Swamiji, how are you? I said, I am fine. Are you taking those tablets? Now I have no choice but to speak the lies. Isn't it? Suppose I tell, what tablets? When did you give? Immediately the Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati will start, isn't it? With such a great love I have given you, but you don't even take. Okay. Don't live that kind of life where you are unnecessarily concerned about the world. Have love, but live the life of a real existence, not the virtual existence. So when these things you take care of, you know what is the net result? Net result is your mind is relaxed. When your mind is relaxed, relaxed mind does not go in the past. Relaxed mind does not go in the future. That mind which does not have the past and the future is no mind. See how beautiful? That man who does not have the wife and the children, he is never a miserable husband and a father, isn't it? Then what is he? He is a man, a happy one. In the same manner, the mind which does not have the past and which doesn't have the future is a pure consciousness. And for that purpose, we have to be conscious about this. That are we all the time dragging the past and all the old stuff again and again? There are people, one example I'll tell you from here only. Now that man is not here, he is in India. For the first time he met me somewhere. And he came and he said, Swamiji, I want to talk to you personally. I said, I have nothing to talk personally. I have no personality. No, 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 no. I want to talk about my personal thing. I said, I don't want to hear. No, but I want to talk. I said, who cares? I don't want to listen. No, but Swamiji, then with whom I will talk? I said, stand before the sea. We were on the sea beach. And talk to the sea. Don't talk to me. And when he failed, he wrote a 6 pages letter. And next evening, again, Satsang, he came, did Namaskar, and he gave me. Swamiji, please don't throw it away. So I thought it is an envelope containing money. And I told him, okay, I won't throw away. And when I opened, not 1 rupee note, but all these problems. And in that, he has written the whole story of his life. And after all that was over, how bad he is, that was his conclusion. And how he was, suffering during his childhood. How his parents have thrown him, then how he was an orphan, how he was lifted by somebody, and how those people treated him and squeezed him out, and how he has suffered. The whole story of... Now, who is interested? Nobody is interested. And his only one concern is this. Anybody he meets, Mahabharata begins. Now tell me, what do you want to achieve out of it? I asked him. I said, I read your story. It is more thrilling than the Mahabharata. So what do you want me to do? Produce a movie on that? What do you want me to do? And what do you want to prove? And because of that, he is all the time seeking attention from the people. Seeking attention from the people. And the second thing, he wants the people should not repeat it, what he did in his life. And therefore, he wants to be a teacher, a guru to tell the world, see, this is how the life is bad, let your life not be bad like mine. See how terrible this lifestyle is. Now, how the mind plays tricks and makes us miserable. See, nobody wants one's own annihilation. Nobody wants. So is the story of the mind. Mind survives either in digging the past or imagining the future. You just observe. When you complain, Swamiji, I am so disturbed. Now observe. Don't simply complain and put the ball in Swamiji's court. Now try to improve me. You observe what happens. Either we are digging the past, non-stop. But we forget. Nobody is interested in our past. Everybody is worried about their own future. But we have nothing except our past. Just observe this. The day you have decided that you will not bring the past through your mouth or action any time, you have killed your mind half. See? Pranabandhanat liyate manaha ekachintanat nashametyadaha. Killing the mind does not mean taking the drugs and living like a drug addict. No. Killing the mind means the mind has got two faculties, two functions. One function is the mind is able to receive the world. Like those of you whose mind is open through the ears are listening to me and hearing to me properly. Those whose ears are open, the mind is switched off. They can't hear. So one aspect of the mind is that mind helps us in establishing communication with the world. That is a good aspect, is required. The second aspect of the mind is constantly projecting. It is never stable in one place. See, we do something, we think something, we are busy with something, and this is how our mind is running away from its own death. See how important it is. Therefore, this mind has to be destroyed. Means what? Only the perception aspect of the mind to be kept intact, and the projection aspect of the mind has to be stopped. All those people who suffer depression or who are excited and disturbed, like rabies is of two types. One is called as dumb rabies, and the second is called as the agitative rabies. In the same manner, depression is also of two types. One depression is जाने कहाँ गए वो दिन रहते थे तेरी याद में. This is one kind of depression. Other kind of depression is continuously agitated. That is also depression. This is what is the problematic aspect of the mind. So what we have to do is check the second aspect of the mind, not the first. And for that purpose is all our spiritual practice, retreat. So when we very clearly know that our contact with the world is established with the mind, and the mind is having a habit of non-stop projections, it is never available fully for anything. Do you know how the Microsoft Windows were discovered? You may be, singing the song, मेरे सामने वाले खिड़की में. वो खिड़की है ना, these are all Microsoft Windows. खिड़की means window. And what happens in these windows? We open one window, then we open second window, then we open third window, and so many windows are opened simultaneously, and then we forget which window is having what. This is how our mind is totally dissipated. When you open a dozen windows, the speed of your computer goes down, isn't it? This is what exactly happens in our life. While we are listening, so ears are listening and mind is thinking, khana laya tha, but in that food, they should have given achar. They are not given achar. I think Arvind must have forgotten about achar. But then they should have bought it with them. And what is we are thinking about the mind and achar, Ram Ram. Why this happens? Because so many windows are simultaneously opened. Please understand this principle. Learn to do one thing at a time in your life. One thing at a time. You will be able to achieve tremendous peace within and joy without. Ashantasya kuta sukham. A person who is disturbed inside can never be happy outside. And what is the reason? Reason is we are not taking care of mind. Therefore, the real meaning of the retreat is treat your mind in a way that it rediscovers its original divine status. Now our mind is like carrying the load. Boy in India, a coolie, a 10-year boy, is carrying the 3 NRI suitcases on his head. So you can imagine what is the size of NRI suitcase. You are all NRIs, isn't it? They go from here to India as if in India nothing is available. And therefore, right from the tissue paper to the plastic spoons they carry from India. Huge, huge suitcases. And when they go there, they want to give the suitcases on the head of their small child, and there they'll bargain. एक रुपया, सवा रुपया नहीं, 15 नहीं. How much they go on talking about that. And now that child is carrying the load on his head, then you tell him the joke to that child. Will that child laugh? Because he is carrying such a load on his head. In the same manner, our mind is carrying a terrible load of agitations, 101 thoughts simultaneously going on. And because of that load, we are not in the present. And those who are not in the present, they are most miserable. Remain for longer time in the present. This is what we all have to do in this 1.5 days retreat. Remain for longer time in the present. So here we all have come not to achieve anything. Here we all have come to waste time. We have utilized sufficiently. Now relax. But for wastage of time also we plan how to waste the time. We should go from here to Honolulu. To Lu you go to Honolulu. Stay here and be happy. See? The day you discover these principles, friends, don't become too much excited about life. So let us learn in this 1 or 2 days, relax. And you all do this when in deep sleep. In deep sleep, you don't utilize the time. Do you know why? You transcend the time. See, when we came a long drive, Arvind was working. I said, who cares? I went and switched off. And such a nice sleep, this fellow came and he said, tack, 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 uto. So from the bed to the bathroom, from the bathroom to here, let's start. See, the more we learn this principle, don't struggle in life. Learn to relax. And in deep sleep, we are relaxed, and therefore we are nobody, and therefore we have no achievements and failures, and therefore we are all happy. So this retreat is meant for coming to a point where you are Mr. Nobody. See? When you are Mr. Nobody, start from husband. So you are miserable as a husband. As nobody you are not miserable. You are miserable as a wife. As nobody you are not miserable. You are miserable as a mother or the father. As nobody you are not miserable. You are miserable as the daughter or the son. As nobody you are not miserable. And we all know this. And therefore, what we achieve in deep sleep, that we attain a status of total nobody. Now be attentive. Those who are not able to get sleep means what? They are unable to drop the status of nobody. They are somebody or the other continuously. So as a husband I am thinking about the wife. As a wife I am thinking about the husband. As a businessman I am thinking about the work. And as a result, we are unable to drop that small little identity and we can't sleep. Then what we do? We do chemical meditation. Isn't it? So we take the pills, or we want a special kind of pillow. Unless I get my own pillow, I don't know, Swamiji, how do you sleep? So if the pill doesn't help, if the pillow doesn't help, then the third, pillow. And yet they can't sleep. See? And what is the secret? Secret is we are not able to come back to Mr. Nobody. Therefore, Arvind said, let everybody introduce themselves, and I don't know why he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
Mental amnesia.
You have already done?
No.
Oh, good.
I forgot totally.
Very good.
He was so into you.
See what happens, what is telling is true. One day one lady came in Bombay and I was going for my lecture. She came and, Swamiji, I got some question. I said, I don't have time. Sit in the car, I am going for a lecture. And she said, now ask what is your question? This is my question. Why? I come with 100 questions and when I come in front of you all I forget. I don't know what happens to me. And again all the questions come up. Where they go, I don't know. I said, then remain all the time in front of me as a question. Now see, when we have to talk about ourselves, what we will talk, you tell me. See what we will talk. I am so and so, my name is so and so. I was born on 30th of February, and then I have studied here, I have gone there, I have cheated this fellow, I have cut his throat and I have cut his pocket. And why do you cut somebody's throat and pocket? I am a tailor. Okay. So, and then this thing and that thing, and then I heard this thing, and then thereafter we decided, let me, change, let me become spiritual, latest fashion. And therefore I thought, let me go and attend a retreat. And then what happened? I came here. Then what happened? The moment you come in the present, you have nothing to talk. Think. So all that we have become is the load carrier of our total past. See, this is most important thing. Why all of us become miserable? Because all the time the same old stuff. And when you repeat something 100 times, even if it has not happened in your life, you start feeling it has happened. It is nowhere there. But you start imagining. And then you really feel, my life, childhood was very miserable. Nobody's childhood is good. Because every child is persecuted by the elders. We say that the childhood is such a lovely thing. You ask the children, they say, my only dream is when I become big, I will do like this thing. See, ask every child. Therefore, friends, wherever we are, let us not bring our past. So I am indirectly thankful to Arvind that he has forgotten. Or else what we would have talked about. My name is so and so, I have done this thing, I have done that thing, and I have succeeded, others have failed, but I have failed with my wife. I am successful in the world, but failure at home. What I should do? Now you make the world as your home. What else we have? Friends, drop this. There is no meaning in that. Now see what happens. when you drop your past, you will automatically drop your future. Those who are carrying the load of the past, they are alone creating the worries about the future. See? Worries about the futures are an attempt to solve the problems which are not there. That is what is called as worry. We try to solve those problems. In Bombay it happened, in Bombay, like, in UK, they have got those, row houses sticking to each other. The walls are common. In the same manner, in Bombay, they have got houses of that type. And one night at about 2 o'clock or so, young couple married for a few months started fighting. And their fight became so much. So all their neighbors came, what happened, what happened? Because India is a national country, Everybody is worried about others. Everybody is wise in somebody else's job. This is how India is. So they came, hey, what happened? Why are you fighting at night? We are fighting for one reason. He wants to name the daughter as Kalpana, and she wants to name the son as Kartik. On this they are fighting. So the neighbor said, congratulations. So a new guest is coming. No, not even conception. But fighting about what will be the name of the child. Look here. We are all trying to name an unborn child. Never do that. And when we start remaining in the present, you have erased your personality. You are not unnecessarily trying to solve the problem which are non-existent. As a result, you are fully available in the present. And when you are fully available in the present, you don't think. Be very attentive. You don't think. Means what? You start functioning on the foundation of spontaneity. You are not expressing a prepared expression. About this, I will tell you an example. Long time back, about 20 years back, this happened here only in US, Detroit. There was one, VHP, Vishwa Hindu Parishad conference. Sushil Muni was there. He is no more now. A Jain saint. And there was one professor, Dr. Rao or somebody. And third was myself. And the whole audience was there. And they asked that we have got three great people of the East, and therefore they are going to tell us something. So they told me, Swamiji, start. I said, no, Sushil Muniji is the eldest among us. He is the one who is the wisest. So I will request him to initiate the proceedings. So he started talking on Hindu Dharma. So he spoke for 1 hour on the word Hindu, what it means. And when Babaji spoke, they don't have notes and the earmarked magazines or the flags. So he just started. After 1 hour of his talk was over, he said, now I request Swamiji to proceed further from this topic onward. So I took over from there and I finished my talk. And then I said, now I request Professor Rao to continue further. Because I was told like that. And when he saw these two Babajis, they just came and started dhada firing. And he had a lot of books and notes and paper and everything. With the whole thing he lifted and went to the podium and kept over there. And then he started, like we two started, without any books or reference. And after 10 minutes he said, I am sorry, I do not know what I am talking. And then he opened his lecture that he has prepared for last 15 days. And then he read his lecture, which was absolutely not relevant to the point. And unless whatever he has prepared, he reads it completely, he doesn't feel that I have delivered the lecture. What is the reason? He was not spontaneous. The purpose of the meeting was defeated. And then the organizers came. Swamiji, इसने तो सत्यानाश कर दिया. Because he was not understanding Hindi. No, he has to tell me something. How can he come and tell me before him? So in my ear he tells in Hindi, he has destroyed the whole purpose of the meeting. I said, no, ऐसा करो, you again request me to summarize. So again he went. Now I request Swamiji to summarize the proceedings of the meeting, and in that I have erased him fully without referring even once. Now see what happened? Whenever we are over prepared, we make a mess of our life. Keep yourself quiet, alert, and vigilant. Life is lived most beautifully. And that is called as not becoming anybody. So whenever we become somebody, we suffer. The other day, somebody asked me a question. Swamiji, I got a problem. I said, who doesn't have a problem? Electric post also has a problem. Everybody has a problem. No, Swamiji, my problem is my daughter. I said, who children has given happiness to the parents? They are meant for troubling. No, please listen. I said, okay, I am listening. I have no choice. He said, my daughter is married to so and so, and that person is not as good as my daughter is, and therefore he, tortures her and he insults her, and she is suffering a lot. What should I do? I said, वहां जाके तबला बजाओ और क्या? I said, did they ask you? Did your daughter and did your son-in-law consult you on this issue? No. I said, don't meddle in between the husband and wife. Then what should I do? I said, you can do nothing. And what you can do, you are doing. And worrying. Worrying do not deliver solutions. That means I have to simply keep quiet. I said, not keep quiet, get away. Please remember, we have to recognize the area of our authority to function in this world. Once you recognize that, we start leading life with wisdom. And when people start living their life in wisdom, they remain all the time cool, alert, vigilant, not leading a life of deadly existence, like this. There is no life. Lead cheerful and happy life. The more you remain in the present, you are able to see that the whole world is a big cartoon show. One boy, his name is Aditya, Gujarati. He is now grown up, he is about 12 years now. Very much fond of seeing the cartoons. And he calls me only by name. Anubhavananda, please come. Let us see the cartoon. Everybody calls me Swamiji, but he tells me Anubhavananda. Because he has got, the American impression. So his mother and father, why don't you call him Swamiji? Because his name is Anubhavananda. Don't we call Bush? So I called him Anubhavananda. No, I said, don't worry. Don't you like cartoons? I said, yes. Then why don't you come and sit? I said, no, I don't like these cartoons. Then I like the live cartoons. Isn't it? What is a cartoon? Cartoon is an entertainment for others. Isn't it? If you look at the cartoons, That one cartoon is standing there and wanting to stop the road roller, and it can't stop. Then the roller goes above that and the cartoon becomes flat. Then after some time, oh, it was too heavy. Now it is meant for only fun, isn't it? In the same manner, the whole world is like this. Don't become serious about anything. See? Then what is to be? Remain sincere. Whatever you can do, but don't become serious. And when you have learned this art, you will be able to discover the bliss that you are. And therefore, the real meaning of spirituality is not becoming serious, whole world is misery and we have committed so many sins, and therefore, like the clothes are put in the washing machine, we are put in the washing machine, and our wife and children, they are the detergents. Isn't it? In-laws are the spinning. You don't have that funny kind of notion. And once you decide this, then I am in this world only to celebrate life. One foundation, basic philosophy. Those who become miserable because of anything or anybody, they are the fools of the highest order. Do you mean, Swamiji, I am a fool? I don't mean that. You decide now. See, for example, you must have seen, whenever these kinds of lectures go, and then Mahatmas like us, suppose somebody comes, or some child is crying, or something, and his Mahatma loses his temper. Shut up, why do you close the... Now, if I become miserable because of any one of you, who is more powerful? You or me? See? And if we decide that, like example I'll give you, this happened in Bombay. My lectures are conducted on the 5th floor in an ashram in Bombay, because it's a big area. And on the 3rd day, when I went for my talk, the watchman told me, Swamiji, today your lectures are not on the 5th floor, they are on the ground floor. I said, all right. Now, watchman will not tell me lies. So I straight away went there. And all the audience was sitting, the TV camera and machines and lights, everything was fixed. And at the right time, I was just entering, the chief trustee or trustee of that ashram came. Swamiji, where are you going? Because he knew my lectures are on the 5th floor. How come I am going there? Where are you going? I said, for a movie. No, when I come to the ashram to give lecture, you ask me this kind of stupid question. What reply will I give? A wise answer? Stupid question can be replied only by super stupid way. No. What I mean that your lectures are there. How come you are going down? I said, your watchman told me. That's the lecture. Who is he to tell you? I said, I'll go and ask him. Who are you to tell me? And he came and he said, no, Swami's lecture will be held only on the top floor, not here. Because it became prestige issue. I am in trustee. I said, it's okay, Maharaj. Today is here, tomorrow we'll have there. Everybody is seated on the... No, it can't be. I said, all right. And then, like, this Samaj having a glass, somebody was holding glass of water to be kept there. I said, hey, give me a glass of water at least. No, up there. So I just kept quiet. And then I went and sat in the room of the trustees. And then he dismantled everything and took it up over there. Everything he took there. After he took everything up there, about 15 minutes it took. And when I was sitting in that room and reading the newspaper, one person came, he said, Swamiji, this person came and said to you like this, and you are so cool and you are so disturbed. Don't you get angry? I said, why should I get angry? Do you think that the people who are listening when they are sitting on the ground floor and they are not going to listen when they are going to sit on the fifth floor? Anyway, they are not listening. So I also know, they also know. Once you take this view of life, nothing in this world will ever disturb you. So what is the moral of the story? Those who become miserable because of anything or anybody, they are the fools of the highest order. Bhagavad Gita says, Gatasu na gatasuscha nanushocanti panditaha. Talking is very simple. What Bhagavad Gita says? Bhagavad Gita says, wise people are not miserable because somebody dies or because somebody doesn't die. See? One Mahatma told me once. He said, Swamiji Maharaj, I would like to tell you one thing. What is that? You make Bhagavad Gita such jokes and light, but Bhagavad Gita is a very important, serious text. How come you make so many jokes out of Bhagavad Gita? I said, if you read Bhagavad Gita, it's full of jokes. Bhagavad Gita is full of jokes. I said, yes. This joke I said, this is the joke. What is the joke? Gatasu na gatasuscha nanushocanti panditaha. Because it is said in Sanskrit doesn't mean it is serious. Isn't it? But we have this funny notion. Sanskrit means serious. No. Like English doesn't mean educated. Isn't it? One of our Indian minister came to this country and went back and he said, see, why America is progressing? There everybody is educated. Even the sweeper talks in English. Educated. Similarly, Sanskrit does not mean anything serious. Then I told him, I said, see what Bhagavad Gita tells. That wise people do not become miserable because somebody dies or somebody doesn't die. Is it not true? We become miserable. Oh, that fellow had died. But this fellow doesn't die. There also we are miserable. So, for our misery, it is not because somebody's death. Somebody doesn't die, that also makes us miserable. Is it not the best joke of the whole Bhagavad Gita? Therefore, when you take this view that we have not to become miserable because of anything or anybody, this is your spiritual practice. As simple as this. Like many people have this funny notion. Swamiji, you don't tell anything like, do this pranayam and this kriya and that kriya and do this chant, this japa, and after that do shirshasana and do all kinds of acrobatics. You don't tell all that. Why? I said, do you know why these Mahatmas tell? Then you will understand why I don't tell. This happened in Chicago or somewhere. There used to be one lady who used to come with her husband and bring food for me. And she will never talk. So, one day I had made a mistake. I asked her, Amma, you don't talk anything. So, I kept quiet. Her husband told, Swamiji, her guru has told her to observe Maun. And therefore, sometimes she observes Maun for 10 days, 15 days, sometimes 2 months. Then now we are all habitual. We don't get disturbed by that. So this time she is observing Maun. So we don't talk to her. Once she came, and that day she was not observing Maun. Non-stop poultry farm. After that was going on, she was giving me food and talking non-stop. So then she said, Swamiji, my Guru Maharaj told me to observe Maun as much as possible. Now, is it right what he told me? Or do you want me to have any other spiritual practice? I said, I partially agree with your Guru. He said, what? he meant you should not talk at all. Observe Maun throughout your life. Don't talk one word. So when we go and eat the head of the Mahatma, they have to give some sadhana. That is why they say, when you do sadhana, somebody is protected. So to such people, another technique is given. Give the mala in the hand. Beta, Bhagwan ka naam lo. And then, Maharaj, what I have to do? See, for your benefit, I have discovered a long, powerful mantra. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. One. Like that, you have to do 108 times, one rosary. Like that, you have to do every day 36 malas. Now that fellow is booked. Now next time comes, beta, jab kaise chal raha hai? How your job is going on? He will run away. No, he is fine. I am perfectly all right. Do you have any problem? No problem. Because the moment problem, take this japals. So earlier the world was a problem, now japa becomes a problem. That is the reason they say when God's name is chanted, you are protected from the disciples. I am not telling you anything of this type. Only one thing, try to be aware that you remain in the present. The more you remain in the present, you will be light. Don't struggle. And if you want, you go on humming something, doesn't matter. Whether you are chanting the Lord's name, Hanuman Chalisa, or Bhagavad Gita, doesn't matter. Or you are singing the cinema songs, doesn't matter. What matters is, are you cheerful and happy or not? That is important. Now live every moment in this awareness. When you live in this awareness, you will start living more and more in awareness. Mathematical expression will be at present we are 1% in awareness and 99% in default. Is it? Now slowly what we have to do? Change. Live more and more in awareness and less in default. And when this starts happening, an undisturbed mind is the source of all the solutions of life. A disturbed mind is the source of all the problems in life. See? As much you are seeing me, when you are able to observe your mind like that. So suppose I scratch my, face. You also don't have to do like this. In the same manner, when the mind is disturbed, you don't have to be disturbed. See? And when you don't support the disturbances in the mind, when you do not appreciate or depreciate the disturbances in the mind, but remain totally indifferent, you start living in awareness. When you start living in awareness, you are fully integrated. Like the beam of sunlight going through a prism becomes vibgayoric, splintered in different colors. In the same manner, our mind going through the situations of life gets splintered into the past, the present, and the future. But like the sunlight has got all the 7 colors, but they are all merged in one. And therefore, the white is not called as a color. White and black, they are not called as colors. In the same manner, although consciousness is knowledge and mind is also knowledge, consciousness as knowledge is not a problem. And mind as a knowledge is a problem. Because mind is divided knowledge. The known, the knower, and the knowledge. When these 3 components are separated in the knowledge, mind is born. So when we start living in the present, our knowledge is slowly, as if getting back to its original status of consciousness. And when the mind starts going back to the consciousness, then you are in tune with the divine. When you are in tune with the divine, nothing in this world ever disturbs us. That undisturbed existence is called as God realization. And this doesn't come and go. Like the waking comes and goes, dream comes and goes, deep sleep comes and goes, but this experience has no coming and going. It is ever the same. And therefore, friends, what we have to learn in this retreat is, let us drop all our personalities and the load that we are carrying. Don't remain here as husband and wife if you have come together. Don't remain here as the son or the daughter and the mother or the father. No. Remain as Mr. Nobody. Why Mr.? Why not Miss? Then you are getting caught up in the gender. So when you start living as nobody, then learn the joy of being nobody. But what happens, in my camps which I conduct in India, I suggest to the people what is their problem. Then if you are going for the camp, coming for the camp, don't come husband and wife together. Let either husband come or the wife come. And if you happen to come together, don't stay in the same room. Stay separately. Why? Because husband watch morning. Where is the brush? Wife watch bathroom mein hai na. Husband goes to the bathroom. Where is the paste? Kya? Where is the paste? You are the paste. They don't allow me to sleep. No, toothpaste. He's calm. And then she said, the toothpaste is there only behind that mirror. Okay. Hello, where are the teeth? Now, what is the difference? You continue to become husband. You don't drop that stupid fellow. Therefore, in these retreats, try to achieve this thing as an experiment. It is a returnable thing. Just download, experiment. If you don't like, return it. Don't worry. It's only for 15 days, 15 hours. Try that and then live. Really, life is possible to live without depending or blaming anybody in this world. The day we stop dependence and stop blaming others, we are reborn. That is the inauguration of a new era in our life. How important it is. And this is how we have to do experiments in life. Now, last thought before I conclude. If you are conducting two experiments, experiment number 1 and experiment number 2. First experiment, that you have conducted experiment number 1 under n number of parameters, and if you conduct the second experiment under n plus 5 number of parameters, are these two experiments comparable? No. They should be exactly identical, then only they become comparable, is it not? We have lived our life with all sincerity, our own way. Now this new life, this also live with same sincerity. As we are getting worried by becoming husband and wife, now here don't become husband and wife and relax sincerely. Just give yourself an opportunity, a chance. Give her one day and see the difference. To recognize you are this beauty, you have to cooperate. And once you start cooperating, then you will say, life is so simple, it's not difficult. It's we who have made the life miserable. And for this we have all come here to experiment, remain in the present, drop all our identities and just enjoy every moment without complaining, without remembering, or without projecting. 3 things. About the future we project, about the present we complain, about the past we remember. When these 3 things you drop, you are living in meditation. You don't do meditation for half an hour and after that, Swamiji, after the meditation my back is becoming so stiff. What I should do? Continue meditation. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.